Hello everyone, I'm David Gale and welcome to a special program report from VTV brought to you by Ashley Regional Medical Center. Now today on the show, we're going to be pleased to present many of the political candidates for the upcoming general elections on November 8th. It's a chance for you to hear from the candidates in their own words why they are running for office. So let's get started. Joining us now in the studio is Bryce Hamilton from Duchesne. Bryce is running for Duchesne City Council. Welcome, Bryce. Please give us a little background about yourself and why you're running for office.
Well, I've lived in Duchesne since, 1961. I guess that makes 50 years, doesn't it? Went to school there, left for a time to go to college, came dangerously close to graduating from both. And I started business in Duchesne in 1975. Been there ever since. Went broke a lot of times, but never quite out of business. And we're still there. As I said, I've lived there the better part of my entire life, and I guess it's time to give something back. I've not been involved in politics to speak of until this point. The reason I'm running, well, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not mad about anything. I don't have an axe to grind. But it's probably my turn to do my share. There are some concerns I have. I suppose most of us are really concerned at the direction our nation's going, and perhaps to a lesser extent our cities and counties and states. It seems to me that there aren't very many principles that guide decisions anymore. They're all guided by what's expedient today. You know, I heard one man say once that the problem is people consider not what's right, but who's right, and that leads to bad consequences. My guiding principle is that I don't believe that government should be used to do anything that you don't have a moral right to do for yourself. As the government is not intended to be the master of the people, it's the agent of the people, it's our servant. As it's not right for you to go to your neighbors and take his spare car and give it to your other neighbor who doesn't have one. It's not right for you to send your brother to do that which you don't have a right to do yourself, and it's not right to send the government to do that. So you can see I'll be an advocate of property rights, and just generally keeping the government confined to its proper role. I don't know that there's a lot that the government should be involved in as far as the economy. People frequently put their hand on their heart and say, we've got to do something to get some jobs in this town. But then we go about making it impossible for people to find a place to live if they were to come to town to work. So I think probably the best thing economy and jobs-wise our government, city government, county government, and other governments can do is basically stay out of the way. It's never been the proper role of government to regulate or meddle in the economy, but it's the proper role to stay out of the way and let things happen. The market always makes better decisions than people do anyway. So I'm hoping to bring to the city council a little bit of influence based on that principle that the government needs to be confined to its proper role, and we should not use it to run roughshod over the rights of others. It's there to protect our rights and not to create them. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much once again. This is Bryce Hamilton running for Duchesne City Council. Well, we now have the pleasure of meeting with Stephen Timothy, who is running for Roosevelt City Council. Welcome, Stephen. If you could, give us a little bit background information about yourself and tell us why you're running for this office.
I was born and raised in Roosevelt, and I've lived there pretty much my whole life. I've decided to run for office a few years ago. Tried a couple times, almost made it, and I just feel that there's some changes that need to be made, and things that need to be done to improve Roosevelt and make it better for not only my future, but future for those after me, you know. And there's things on the table right now like the starvation water project. They want to bring water over 30 miles away to help supplement Roosevelt, and that's a large cost when I think we have water closer that we could build a treatment plant for and deal with that. And there's some other things that I feel need to be improved in Roosevelt, and I think that I'm the guy that can do that.
All right, is there anything else you'd like to tell the audience?
That's it.
All right, well, thank you very much once again. Stephen Timothy, running for Roosevelt City Council. Joining us now in the studio is Joanne Cowan. Joanne is running for Vernal City Council. Welcome, Joanne. If you wouldn't mind, give us a little bit of background information about yourself and tell us why you're running for this office.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here this afternoon. My name is Joanne Cowan, and I moved to Vernal 40 years ago to teach school and fell in love with Vernal and stayed here. And as a result, I know lots and lots of folks in the community and have had an opportunity to work in the community. And I really appreciate the opportunities that have come to me as being part of this community. And I taught government history and law and political science at the high school. And one of the things I always tried to teach kids was that you needed to be involved in your community, and that was part of what good citizens did. And a few years ago, I decided that maybe it was time for me to set the example and not just teach about government involvement, but to actually do that. So I threw my hat in and ran for city council, and I have really enjoyed the experience. And to me, it is public service. I feel like as a result of being in that, I've had an opportunity to give back to the community. And my life is richer and better because I've lived in Vernal, and I've had an opportunity to associate with lots and lots of people who are adults in the community now and their parents when their parents were involved in the school. And so I think this has been a neat opportunity for me to give back. I can't donate land, I can't donate money, but I can donate my time. And so I have been on the council, and I'd like an opportunity to do it again. I think it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I like the opportunity to do it. And it's certainly a part-time job, but you're also expected to serve on different committees and be involved in those things. And because I'm retired, I have plenty of time to do that. And so I've had an opportunity to work with homeless folks. And today we just dedicated an affordable housing project for that will give 48 families in the town an opportunity to have some appropriate housing and not have to pay some of the astronomical rents. I've had an opportunity to work with a victim advocate program. I work with law enforcement, and one of my favorite projects is to work with the fire department. And I'm Vernal City's representative on the fire board, the board that's over fire suppression. So because I have the time to do that and I don't have to go to work, I feel like I'm in a situation where I can be a valuable asset to the city. And sometimes there are times when the mayor or other council members, because of their jobs, need to go do things, and so I can step in and help do that. One of the things that concerns me as a political leader in the community, if you can call yourself that, Utah used to be the #1 voting state in the union.
2 minutes.
And now we're the lowest voting state. And I think it's really critical that people in the community get out and vote in our election, vote in Roosevelt's election, vote in Duchesne's election. But people need to get involved in that. And the reason people ought to be involved in our election is that the city council spends about $13 million. And they ought to care who's spending that money and where that money goes and what it's spent on. There are 10,000 people in Vernal who receive services from Vernal City, and they ought to have a voice in who manages and organizes and delivers those services to them. And basically, we're involved in sewer and water and those kinds of things. But I think it's really critical that people go to the polls. If they can't be there on the 8th, they can contact the city office building and get an absentee ballot. And they can file an absentee ballot, which is like early voting.
1 minute.
But I would encourage everybody to participate in this. I think it's part of citizenship. I think it's part of involvement in the community. I love the opportunity I've had to be in the community, and I hope that folks will step up and vote and participate in this election. And I'd appreciate it if they'd support me, because I'd like the opportunity to do it again, because it's a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Joanne Cowan running for Vernal City Council. Joining us now here in the studio is Dave Everett. Dave is running for Vernal City Council. Welcome, Dave. If you wouldn't mind, give us a little background about yourself and tell us why you're running for this office.
I'm 59 years old. I grew up on the Wasatch Front in Sugar House, which is kind of a Mayberry-esque environment, which was really, enjoyable. And then in Holiday for about 20 years, and had the opportunity of meeting a wonderful woman with 3 beautiful little girls, and we decided to come up here to Vernal to raise them, because it was just a much nicer environment than Salt Lake was, and a much safer and just a healthy place for them to be. I've worked at Betty's Cafe and have done so for about 9 years, so I've got a really kind of an interesting slant on what goes on in Vernal City. When I first became aware of the fact that there were 3 seats opening up for a city council, I said to myself, well, yeah, I should run, whatever. And then I kind of laughed it off, and then the more I thought about it, I went, well, I really probably should run. I said everything that I've done up to this point in my life has kind of led me to this final, chapter here, or at least this continuing chapter. And although my political experience in government is limited, I've had a lifetime dealing with people and the human spirit, and just, it's really easy. It's a real easy philosophy for me. It's pretty much the golden rule, and I can probably answer that question on why I'm running by the 2 questions that have been posed to me during this campaign. And the first one is, when I see people, they ask me, Dave, are you out of your mind? And I, think for a moment there. And then the second question they ask me is, what can I do to help? What can we do to help? What do you need? Where can we be of assistance? And that has been the attitude that I have experienced since day one, since I moved up here. And so for me, it was really an opportunity to give back to the people of Vernal. I feel confident I can learn the technical aspect of city council, and with the help and the hope of all the council members and the existing city officials, that they'll have to be a little tolerant with me and show me some, give me a little bit of leeway. But it really is. It's just I'm at that point in my life where I have the time to do it. I'm still a reasonably sound mind, so I feel confident in that aspect. And it's just really an opportunity for me to give back, for me, so this is what I hope I can do, and it's going to be an education for me. It has been so far. I've certainly have advanced and grown from this experience up to this point, and I hope I can pass that on to the people of Vernal.
All right.
So,
well, thank you very much. Once
You're welcome.
again, this is Dave Everett running for the Vernal City Council. We are pleased now to welcome to the studio Sonia Norton, who is running for Vernal City Council. Welcome, Sonia. If you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit, some background about yourself and maybe why you're running for the office.
Well, I was born and raised in Vernal. I've lived here my whole life, and I'm very proud of Vernal. I love living here, and I want to give back to my community. So I found that serving on the City Council is very rewarding. I love what I do. I've learned a lot about the inner workings of the city, and I want to continue to serve if the citizens will allow me to.
All right. Anything else that you'd like to say?
I've also served, they've had me serve on the Utah League of Cities and Towns. It is a state institution, state group that we all go to semi-annual meetings where they train us on city matters, things that you would deal with in a city. A lot of times it's planning, infrastructure, that type of thing. But they also help us deal with litigation. They have an on-staff attorney, and it's been very helpful and very insightful. I serve on the Policy and Legislation Committee there, which I go out once a week during the legislative session, and we are updated by all of the people at the Utah League of Cities and Towns, their staff. They also have people involved at the legislature, and we bring that information back to the community so that we keep on top of matters that would affect us. and we have a say on what happens. They let us vote at those meetings on a direction that they want to have us go. And so we're able to keep on top of that, which has been very helpful with some of the issues that we're dealing with in our area. I also serve on the board of directors for the Utah League of Cities and Towns for our district. Our area is really Daggett, Duchesne, and Uena County, and I am representing that area on the League of Cities and Towns, and so I go out every quarter. We have meetings and they update us on issues in our area. Also, we talk with other cities and get ideas and information from them and mistakes they've made, good things they've done, and we learn from each other. So it's very beneficial, and I've really enjoyed serving on that. I also serve on the Planning Commission here in Vernal City, which I've enjoyed also. It can be a little controversial sometimes, and I know it's very hard when things may be coming in close to your home and you're not happy with those things, may cause more traffic or other issues, and we try to look at those issues and make the best decision we can for the citizens of the community as a whole. And sometimes that doesn't make everybody happy, but I think we've done a good job. We're trying to be proactive in our planning and look at the future with the new city building. I think we've done that to help with growth in our area.
2 minutes.
And also, I think we're heading in the right direction. We are very fiscally responsible. We have been able to continue to work on the budget that we have. We have never had to borrow money or had issues that we needed to go to the state for help with our fiscal responsibility. I attribute that mainly to Ken Bassett, our city manager. He does a fantastic job, and all of our staff at the city. We have a great staff, a lot of great employees that work very hard, and we appreciate them. And I'm glad to be part of it, and I would like to continue to serve on the council.
All right. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Sonia Norton running for Vernal City Council. Joining us now in the studio is Theron Davis from Vernal. Theron is running for Ashley Valley Water Board. Welcome, Theron. Please give us a little bit of a background about yourself and why you're running for office.
Well, a few years ago, my wife was getting quite ill, so I dropped out of the sewer board. I've decided again to try and see if I could make a difference for the community there and help out and see how things is going. We made a policy years ago to try to get water and sewer to everybody we could, and so far I think they've been doing a good job of it and trying to keep up with it. And hope the government will keep helping us build these water lines and sewer lines to help people out. And we've got a lot of work to do. We're getting to the point now where a lot of the lines is needing to be replaced after so many years of use. They start giving trouble. So it's been interesting work for me, and I've been able to learn a lot at it, and I hope that I can have a chance to try doing some more. I guess that'll do.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, that's Theron Davis. You're up for the Ashley Valley Water Board. All right, next in line we have Brad Grammer. Brad is running for the Ashley Valley Water Board. Welcome, Brad. If you could, please give us a little background information about yourself and why you're running for this office.
Okay. I was born and raised here in Vernal, attended the high school here, graduated, went to college, served an LDS mission, and I finished my degree in physics. Got married along the way. My wife and I decided we actually chose to live here in Vernal, and it's been a great choice. We love the community, we love the opportunities we have here, and I've worked in the water industry for 12 years. I'm the plant manager for Central Utah Water's drinking water facility, and they allowed me to learn a lot along the lines of water and what it's required, the infrastructure that we have, and I know a lot of people in the water industry, and that has really helped me to gain a lot of friendships and knowledge along the way, and I felt that would be useful, so I went ahead and ran for the water board. And that's pretty much it. That's
All right.
kind of a simple thing, but yeah, I love it here in the community.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And once again, this is Brad Grammer running for the Ashley Valley Water Board. Well, that wraps it up for today's guests, and we, of course, would like to remind you to get out and vote. Thank you for watching this special program from VTV.